The lights of Ireland's Got Talent shine brighter than anything Eli has ever known. He stands alone at the center of the massive stage, his small frame swallowed by the glowing floor and towering screens. His clothes are old and faded, sleeves too short, shoes borrowed and worn thin at the soles. He is a Filipino boy from deep poverty, now living with his parents in a crowded shelter on the outskirts of Dublin, where rain leaks through the ceiling and meals are never guaranteed. Backstage, Eli had whispered a prayer in Tagalog, clutching a small, folded Philippine flag he keeps in his pocket. It was the only thing he brought from home when his family left the Philippines in search of work. Ireland is cold, unfamiliar, and often unkind, but tonight, he carries his homeland with him. When the judges ask where he is from, his voice shakes. He explains that his parents clean offices at night, that he sings in shelters and train stations to help buy food. The audience grows quiet, some exchange uneasy glances, others lower their heads in sympathy. Simon Cowell watches closely, his usual skepticism visible as he folds his arms. He has seen thousands of contestants with sad stories, and he guards his emotions carefully. But there is something different in Eli's eyes, an honesty that cannot be rehearsed. One judge leans forward, already moved. Another wipes moisture from her lashes. The room feels heavy, charged with something unspoken. Eli takes a deep breath, barefoot toes curling against the stage floor, and says softly, "I sing to remember who I am, and where I come from." The music has not started yet, but the emotion already has. Eli lifts the microphone with both hands, gripping it as if it might slip away. His fingers tremble, not from fear alone, but from the weight of what he is about to do. When he quietly says, "I will sing Lupang Hinirang," a wave of surprise passes through the theater. Some audience members look confused. Others whisper. A Filipino anthem on an Irish stage is unexpected, almost unheard of. The music begins softly. The first note leaves Eli's lips unsteady, thin like a candle flame in the wind. For a brief second, Simon Cowell raises an eyebrow, ready to judge. But then the boy steadies himself. His voice deepens, not in strength, but in sincerity. It carries the sound of hunger, of long nights in cold shelters, of missing a land he may never see again. As Eli sings the opening lines, his eyes close. He is no longer on the stage. He is back in Manila's narrow streets, hearing the anthem played on crackling radios, watching his parents stand still with hands over hearts. The melody swells, and so does the emotion in the room. Amanda's hand rises to her mouth. One judge presses a palm to her chest, breathing shallowly. The audience sits frozen, drawn into a moment that feels sacred. Eli's voice is not perfect. There are cracks, tiny breaks, but each flaw makes it more real. Simon leans forward now, his arms slowly unfold, his jaw tightens as his eyes begin to shine. This is not performance polish. This is memory. This is loss. This is pride. By the time Eli reaches the anthem's rising phrase, the theater feels transformed. It is no longer Ireland's Got Talent. It is a bridge between nations, built on the fragile but powerful voice of a poor Filipino boy singing for home. As Eli reaches the middle of Lupang Hinirang, the song grows heavier, demanding more breath, more strength than his small body seems able to give. His chest rises and falls quickly. The microphone trembles again. For a moment, his voice cracks, sharp and fragile, sending a collective gasp through the audience. But Eli does not stop. He swallows hard, blinking back tears of his own, and continues. That single broken note changes everything. Simon Cowell's expression shifts completely. The guarded mask he wears so often slips away. He leans forward, elbows resting on the judging table, hands clasped tightly as if holding onto the sound itself. His eyes glisten now, unmistakably wet. He shakes his head slowly, not in disbelief, but in respect. One judge openly wipes tears from her cheeks, no longer trying to hide her emotions. Another presses his lips together, nodding as if to say, "This is real." The room feels fragile, like one wrong movement could shatter the moment. Eli sings louder now, not stronger, but braver. Each word carries the weight of his family's struggle, the shame of hunger, and the pride of belonging to a nation he still calls home. The anthem becomes a confession, a prayer, a promise. The audience begins to stand, one by one, not cheering, just standing. Silence fills the space between notes, thick and respectful. You can hear people breathing, crying. Simon lifts a hand to his face, brushing beneath his eye, then lets it fall. He does not care who sees. This is no longer a competition. This is a human moment. As Eli reaches the final rising passage before the last verse, the judges are no longer evaluating talent. They are witnessing a soul breaking open on stage, and none of them can look away. The final verse begins, and Eli's voice trembles under the weight of exhaustion and emotion. His knees shake, but he stands firm, as if the anthem itself is holding him upright. The melody fills the hall, no longer fragile, but aching and proud. Every word feels like a farewell and a promise at the same time. Tears roll freely down Eli's face now. He does not wipe them away. He sings through them. His voice breaks again, softly this time, and instead of weakening the song, it deepens it. The audience is completely still, many with hands clasped, others openly crying. At the judges' table, emotions spill over. One judge covers her face, shoulders trembling. Another bows his head, overwhelmed. Simon Cowell sits frozen, eyes red, jaw tight, his usual sharp posture gone. When Eli reaches the anthem's final sustained note, Simon finally stands, slowly, deliberately, tears streaming down his face. The note hangs in the air, stretching longer than anyone expects. Eli pours everything he has left into it, his hunger, his fear, his hope. When the sound finally fades, there is a moment of absolute silence. No clapping, no cheering, just breath. Then Simon places both hands on the table, voice shaking as he speaks. I've heard thousands of voices, he says, struggling to keep composure, but I've never heard a country cry through one child. His words break the spell, and the theater erupts. Applause crashes like thunder. Eli bows his head, sobbing, overwhelmed by the sound, the lights, the love. On the judges' table, chairs glisten under the stage lights. This is not just talent. It is truth. Confetti explodes into the air like falling stars, drifting slowly around Eli as the roar of the audience refuses to fade. He stands frozen, eyes wide, unsure if this moment is real. His knees finally give way, and he drops to the stage floor, covering his face with both hands as sobs escape his small body. Years of hunger, fear, and silence pour out all at once. Simon Cowell steps away from the judges' table, something he rarely does. His voice is still unsteady when he speaks. Eli, he says gently, you came here with nothing, but you gave us everything. He pauses, wiping his eyes. This isn't about winning a show. This is about being heard. The golden buzzer glows beneath the stage lights. For a heartbeat, time stops. Then, slam. The sound echoes through the theater as golden confetti rains down even harder. The crowd screams. One judge cries openly, another claps through tears. The audience chants Eli's name, some waving small Philippine flags they had pulled from pockets or phones. Eli looks up, stunned. Simon walks closer and helps him to his feet. Your voice carries a place, Simon says softly. It carries Manila, and tonight, the world heard it. Eli clutches the tiny flag from his pocket, pressing it to his chest. Through tears, he whispers thank you, in English, then in Tagalog. He speaks of his parents watching from a shelter room, of dreaming not of riches, but of dignity. As the lights dim, Eli stands in the center of the stage, poor, shaken, but unbroken. From the cold streets of Ireland to the soul of a nation, hope now has a name. Manila.